Skinny Hardaway Southern T back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all jab that like button for your boy when you roll on in. We here for a good time, not a long time. I'm going to make this as swift as possible. I want to cut this down to about 8 minutes. You know what I mean? Or about 10 to 12 minutes. We going to do our best, to get in this thing and get up out of here. Appreciate everybody sliding through. Today we're here with the fight breakdown prediction between Liam Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. This is a fight taking place. In which between Eubank and Liam Smith. This is kind of a replacement fight for Chris Eubank Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. originally was supposed to fight Conor Benn. Conor Benn ended up popping dirty for PED, so now you got Chris Eubank with having to scramble for a new opponent. And we got Liam Smith. Liam Smith is coming up from 154. So if you're wondering why is Liam Smith fighting Chris Eubank Jr.? Yep, Liam Smith is coming up from 154 to 160 in this fight. So this will be Liam Smith's first fight at 160. And I'm expecting that, to play a part in this fight. But before I say too much, let's go ahead and get in. Let's go ahead and get into it. We got Liam Smith, 32, 3, 1 draw. 19 KOs. He's been stopped once before. 34 years old. He's 5'9". Arm reach, unlisted. Opponents, recognizable opponents. We got Jesse Vargas. We got Anthony Fowler. We scroll on down. We got Roberto Garcia. We got Sam Edgerton, right? We got Jaime Munguia. And then we got Liam Williams twice. You know what I mean? And we got Canelo Alvarez. Right, so he has a pretty, extensive resume. Liam Smith has been in there, with, the who's who pretty much, right, of his weight in and around his weight class and in boxing. So lack of experience isn't going to be a thing in here for Liam Williams. Actually, I will give the experience edge in this fight to Liam Williams. Chris Eubank Jr., he's 32, 23 KOs, never been stopped, 33 years old, 5'11" with a 72-inch arm reach. So Liam Smith's arm reach wasn't listed on here, but you do see Chris Eubank Jr.'s arm reach listed, and his is 72. His is 72 and a half, right? Names of fights of recognition, right? Also, he has Liam Williams on there, coming opponent, Liam Williams. He has Marcus Morrison, right? He's got Medvedev Korval, right? James DeGale, George Groves, Andy Yildirim, Anthony Abraham, Gary O'Sullivan, just to name a few. Billy Joe Saunders as well, Chris Eubank Jr. You know what I mean? Just to name a couple. So, both of these guys, have are pretty experienced in this sport. I will give the experience edge to Liam Smith, right? As to where I would give the athletic edge in this fight to Chris Eubank Jr. This matchup is basically a boxer puncher, right? Versus a boxer puncher. Liam Smith possesses good boxing abilities, right? As well as Chris Eubank Jr. My bad. I already had both of them up. Liam Smith possesses good boxing ability. What's good, Ray? As well as Chris Eubank Jr. In this fight, Liam Smith, like, and just like in his last couple fights, right? Liam Smith wants to kind of, put that pressure on you, but not pressure, not like brawling, overwhelming type of pressure. He puts that kind of, pressure on you where he's not throwing a whole lot of punches, but he put pressure on you where he makes you think, right? He puts physical pressure on you to think, to make you the move, to get you to react and open up. So then he could hit you with, one of his shots type. He wants to make you put that mental pressure on you, make you open up so he can hit you with one of his shots. In this fight with Chris Eubank Jr., Chris Eubank, earlier in his career, right? Early in his career, we would have seen, you could have called Chris Eubank Jr. a puncher, right? But more so as Chris Eubank Jr. Advances, right, in age, he's becoming more so of a boxer, right? And dare I say, more so as Chris Eubank Jr. advances in age, he's becoming more of a pure boxer. You know what I mean? What's good, Edgar Chavez? Appreciate you sliding through. Type deal. In his last couple fights, Chris Eubank Jr., he boxed on his back foot. He used a lot of movement. Maybe he overly used, you know what I mean, the movement, right? Maybe he overly used the movement, did Chris Eubank Jr., but he's shown great movement, you know what I mean, in his last couple fights. So I'm expecting Chris Eubank Jr., you know what I mean, to come in here, use his jab, use his stick, right? And I'm expecting Liam Williams to be able to come in here and to try to, find his way around Chris Eubank Jr.'s jab, which he very well could do because Liam Smith is a good boxer as well. I had just stated, the way that Chris Eubank fights, right? He's been using his jab, his range, controlling the distance and the pace of the fight. He's been fighting like that his last couple fights. Now, he can use some of that in this fight. What's good, Skills? Now, he can use some of that in this fight, right? But in this fight for Chris Eubank Jr., with him being the naturally bigger guy, I mentioned earlier, Liam Smith coming up from 154. So with Chris Eubank being the naturally bigger guy in this fight, I do want Chris Eubank, to use his movement, use his stick, use his jab, be clean like he been the last fights. But I think in this fight, it will behoove him more, to apply a little more pressure, right, on the naturally smaller guy in Liam Smith. I think Chris Eubank Jr., with him being the naturally bigger guy, I think at some points in this fight, he has to let Liam Smith know that, right? He has to impose his will on Liam Smith a little, like, you coming up to my division. I've been here. This is my division. Yeah, you're a pretty good fighter, Liam Smith, right? But I'm a much better and a much bigger fighter. Now, Chris Eubank has been using all these mental tactics, right? Saying he only need to be 50% and whatnot like that. Now, I hope Chris Eubank is just playing mental games and he don't truly believe that, right? Because Liam Smith isn't the guy that you come in here, right, and that you play with. Again, Liam Smith is a guy, if you're not on your game, right, if you come in there slouching, he will beat you. He just stopped Jesse Vargas, who was coming up for 147. He gave Sam Edgerton, right, his first loss in the upset victory for Liam Smith. Liam Smith isn't a guy. He's one of those crafty veterans. He's not coming in here to lay down. He's not coming in here just to be somebody's stepping stone, right? What could cause a problem for Liam Smith in this fight with Chris Eubank Jr., though, when Liam Smith opponents are firing at him, Liam Smith tends to kind of, shell up and wait for his opponent to finish. That could become a problem in this fight if Chris Eubank Jr. is more aggressive in this fight, like I think he should be with the smaller fighter. That could become a problem for Liam Smith. But it could become a problem for Chris Eubank, if Liam Smith, he's not very active when his opponent is firing, right? Because he's trying to get in and land his shot. That could become a problem for Chris Eubank Jr. if he can't cleanly and accurately land on Liam Smith, while he's, shelling up. The biggest problem in this fight for Liam Smith is going to be the biggest problem in this fight for Liam Smith is going to be the athletic ability of Chris Eubank Jr. There's a style of this fight where I can see Chris Eubank Jr. coming out here not engaging at all and just boxing on the outside. And, maybe he gets the nod on the scorecards, right? There's also a scenario in here where I can come in here. I can see Chris Eubank Jr., attempt to box on the outside, but Liam Williams, makes it difficult for Chris Eubank to land cleanly. And this could turn into, one of those ugly kind of fights like Chris Eubank Jr. Last fight where people criticize, the excitement of it because it's like Chris Eubank never engaged. If beefing Liam Williams Smith, damn it, man, what's good? If beefing Liam Williams Smith could make this, an ugly kind of fight or slower pace fight, I think that's advantage Liam Smith. Liam Smith is going to have to do a good job at punching in between Chris Eubank Jr. like he likes to do anyway. Chris Eubank Jr. in this fight, he's going to have to be smart, about his approach and when he's putting the pressure on Liam and when he's choosing to stick with that jab. Chris Eubank Jr. can make this a boring fight. Chris Eubank Jr. can make this a boring fight and stick to his jab. Liam Williams could make Chris Eubank force, to put him out. If Liam Williams decide I'm going to, pin my ears back and I'm going to force Chris Eubank Jr. to fight. You know what I mean? In this boxing match, it will behoove Chris Eubank Jr. to fight a little bit more with the smaller fighter than, using his bite a whole lot and letting, Liam Smith build confidence within the fight. This fight right here, this is going to be tight. Respect to both fighters. I'm going to go with Chris Eubank Jr. by majority decision. I think Chris Eubank Jr. I think we're going to see that Chris Eubank Jr. is the better, fighter right now. He's the better boxer right now. But I think Chris Eubank Jr. he isn't going to impose his size. He isn't going to impose his will, and he's going to make this, entertaining fight for Liam Smith. I think Chris Eubank Jr. is going to get out of here with the majority decision because he's just a better athlete than Liam Williams. He's training with Roy Jones as well. I think that's going to play a part. I think he pretty much just going to use his stick, keep Liam Williams on the outside. He very well could, stop Liam Williams if he decide to kind of put, some pressure on, sit down on his punches a little bit. But he haven't been doing that. As of late. Liam Williams is a tough cat, man. He's a dog. I wouldn't bet on the knockout, right? If you're in between, I would say, bet this fight go the distance, right? But I got Chris Eubank Jr. by decision on the scorecards. I don't think nobody's getting knocked out, right? And if you go to the scorecards, I don't believe Eddie Hearn and the Zone are going to let Liam Williams beat Chris Eubank Jr., especially with Eddie Hearn, pumping up that Conor Ben, Chris Eubank Jr. fight still. You know what I mean? So my fight breakdown and prediction today, I got Chris Eubank Jr. essentially outboxing Liam Smith, until the decision. I don't think it's going to be a UD. I think it's going to be like an MD or something like that because I think Liam Williams can fight. But I think Chris Eubanks' athleticism and his volume going to be just a little too much in this fight, right? So I got Chris Eubank Jr. beating Liam Smith by unanimous decision. You know what I mean? This Saturday, the Zone. So y'all make sure y'all come tune into this thing. You know what I mean? This Saturday, we doing the early morning special like we used to. I got more fight breakdown and predictions coming up for you today. So make sure you be on the lookout. I ain't going to keep y'all too long. You know what I mean? I'm going to come for, a family live stream after this. But greatly appreciate y'all folks sliding through. Chris Eubank, points decision over Liam Smith. Bet it. Sign it up. What's good, dude? What's good? Quick, what's good? Case of voice. Skin the Hardaway Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future, but this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Look.